Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel, Conversations with These Nets. Today we are starting on a new series, and it's one of my absolute favorites. We will be working on Atlanta. I fell in love with this show from episode 1, but episode 2 had me hooked. We're going to talk about it, so just keep in mind that everything after this point will be spoiler filled. I won't be following this series straight through. I'll be talking about later episodes in relation to the one that we're talking to if I notice something. We start off with Paper Boi sitting in his car, and some random dude walks up and kicks the rearview mirror off his car. Of course, when you damage a person's car, that's going to lead to an altercation and or a confrontation. So Paper Boi gets out of the car. Darius stops him and goes, "Yo, I'm having a feeling of deja vu. There is a dog around here somewhere." And he spots the dog. He goes, "You know what? All right, that's weird." Paper Boi's going to do what he wants to do as a grown man. So he let him go. And then you see an aerial shot of the parking lot where they are. And you just see a flash. And then you hear so we know what happened without saying what happened. And that leads to the Atlanta title card. The song for this episode was No Hook by OJ the Juice Man. And we cut to Van and Earn in bed. And Earn has on headphones and they're playing kind of loud. So Van reaches over to knock the headphones off and accidentally slap Earn in the face. So Earn tells Van that he wasn't able to sleep that night and he had a bad dream. So he begins to tell her about the dream. He's in the ocean. There are hands that are pulling him down. And a woman comes up and tells him that if the hands pull him down, he's gone. They will pull him all the way down. Now, Van has more interest in the woman, but I actually had more interest in the dream. Because in season 3, episode 1, they had a dream sequence with Earn. And there were two guys on a boat, and there were dark hands that reached up and pulled the man down. And so I'm wondering how those two coincide, but we'll look into it as we watch the show together. Anyway, getting back to our episode. So Van and Earn get ready for their day. Earn goes to Lottie's bedroom, who is their daughter, and he picks her up. Vanessa reminds him that she needs him to watch Lottie this evening because she has something else to do, and reminds him to not just leave their baby at his parents' house, which he's known for doing. She has a date, so I guess they're just shacking up. Reading through description, they're not together, they're just living together for now. So over at Earn's job, one of his co-workers is trying to convince him to go out to the club. He's telling him about the new rapper. Oh my god, I just realized that the title card was reset. Oh my god. So it reset the day, and that's why they started with Earn waking up. Until right now, when I realized that the co-worker was telling Earn about Paper Boi. Earn had never heard of Paper Boi at that moment until Dude showed him the video. When Dude showed him the video, he was like, "Oh, that's my cousin." And Dude was like, "Oh, the thick chick your cousin? You need to hook me up." He was like, "No, man, Paper Boi's my cousin." So he walks away. He leaves because he ain't making no money at work. No way. He just trying to sell like credit cards for air miles. And he knows he can't compete with the older black lady over there that's just hitting the folks up. So he just goes ahead and leaves and goes home. Now, when he gets to his parents' house, he's looking to find out where Alfred lives, which is Paper Boi, who was his cousin. And his dad greets him, but as he greets him, he blocks the door like, "Yeah, hey, how you doing? Can't really afford to let you in my house right now, but I love you, son." Alfred stays over that way, and he just kind of points him in the direction of Alfred. We get over to Alfred's house, and Darius is trying to figure out if the milk in the refrigerator is spoiled. Now, Alfred tells him that You probably shouldn't drink it, which in a black household, that means that it's spoiled a little bit, but you can still make pancakes and French toast and cornbread out of it because sour milk is primo for cornbread. So after that conversation, there's a knock at the door, and Al grabs his pistol and let the pistol answer it. Darius was on standby with a large knife and a bandana tied around his face. But when Alfred let him in, Darius let down his defense and was like, you want a fresh baked cookie. Ern comes in and he tries to talk to Al to get into his inner circle for management. Darius is all over the place and he reminds him that they are late for their smoke session. So the fellas go outside and have a seat on an abandoned couch where Ern tells Al he isn't looking for a handout. And Al tells him you probably need to be with your situation, being halfway employed, I guess, because later episodes they say he only makes like $5.25 an hour and he's living off of his girlfriend, not with his girlfriend, because he's definitely not paying her rent. Darius is wild. Somehow we got into a conversation about Darius not having kids. And Ern was like, well, I guess I'll find out one day. And Darius was like, what day is good for me to talk about my balls being crushed? Well, Darius, I guess today was that day. But Al is tired of bailing Ern out. He hasn't heard from Ern since his mom died. And Al is not okay with that. And I don't blame him. Because if somebody just pop up randomly, they won't. Next scene, Ern greets a white guy outside of a radio station. And the white guy begins to tell him this story about a party he attended the previous night. And the DJ really wasn't any good. So the white guy pulls up on the DJ and pulls him to the side and says, really, nigga? And Ern like, really? You said that? Because it basically, we already know that Ern feels very non-threatening. So this guy felt very comfortable saying that word in front of him. We get down to why Ern is really there. He needs the white guy to get the DJ on the radio station to play Paper Boi's song on the radio. And the dude tells Ern, sure, but it's going to cost him $500 for him to hand it off to the DJ. Like, that's just the business of getting airplay, I guess. Dude reminds Ern, you know how, quote unquote, niggas is. And I guess he thinks that Ern is non-threatening, so non-threatening that he just comfortably uses around him whenever he wants to. So Ern turns down paying him the $500 to get Paper Boi played on the radio. And as that same white guy greets another group of black men, he greets them with the very professional, hello, how are you? So Ern turns to the janitor and asked the janitor for his name and made pleasantries with him. The janitor was named Prince. It was on his name badge. And Ern asked him, he was like, has that guy ever said the word nigga around you? And he was like, hell no, I'd break my foot off in his ass if he did. So clearly that guy has no respect for Ern. But Alfred arrives at Ern's parents' house and says hi to his little cousin Lottie because, that's where Ern left her. And Ern's dad, Uncle Riley, approaches his car and Darius asks if he can measure his trees. Because, again, Darius. Unc looks confused and says not right now, and Darius gets upset going, oh man, that always means no. As Al tells Unc that Ern wants to be his manager, Ern is sliding Alfred's mixtape under the DJ's door with a little cash to try to get some airtime. Forget the white guy. He even waves at him as he passes by. Ern's dad tells Alfred they don't know why Ern dropped out of college. He was going to Harvard. But when he puts his mind to it, he can get things done when he's allowed to do them on his own terms. Relatable. Ern is on his way home listening to Don't Disturb This Groove in his headphones by the system when a strange guy approaches him. He removes his headphones and tells the guy he just keeps losing and he feels like he's supposed to lose to keep balance in the universe. Relatable. The guy listens, and as he listens, he makes a Nutella sandwich because he pulls some bread and a box of Nutella out of his bag and made a sandwich. He did, on the bus. He gives Ern some advice and then offers him a bite of his Nutella sandwich. Ern declines, and then a police car with lights and sirens blaring pass by. Ern looks at the police car, and when he looks back, the guy is gone. He has gotten off the bus with that strange dog in tow. Lottie is now asleep, so he takes off her headphones and texts back. All of a sudden, he gets a call from Alfred. His song is on the radio. He asks to see Ern, and they meet at the same store where we saw in the opening scene at the beginning. Ern has a seat in Al's car, and they share a blunt. Dave from the radio station, the white guy, approaches the car and asks how they were able to get the song on the radio, and Ern reminds him of what he said earlier. It's all about who you know, and that would be Prince, the janitor. Ern tells Dave to tell his people a story about Flow Rider and how bad the music was at the party the night before, and the story drastically changed. He politely pulled the DJ to the side and told him, "Hey, can you play something else?" That's a huge change from that really nigga earlier, ain't it? So as they sit in the car, Al speaks to a chick walking by, and she instantly rejects him. Then there's the kick that we saw at the beginning of the episode. Let's run it back. Back at the house, Van has gotten home, and on the news, she hears about Paper Boi and Ern being arrested for the shooting. So these are my final thoughts. Let's start with reading the description. I'm going to read the description of every episode at the beginning of the final review because they are just so humorous, and a lot of times we don't pay attention. So this week, Season 1, Episode 1, The Big Bang, Paper Boi. Who the hell is that? I swear everybody want to be a rapper nowadays. Estimate. Song is bumping though. See, every rapper think he a thug. Well, you do the crime, you do the time. Don't drop this out, nigga. I swear. When I read those, it feels like somebody I know wrote it. Like, it is that relatable. But there were a couple of songs that stood out for me in this episode. It was One Time by the Migos. When the guy kicked the mirror off of Paper Boi's car, One Time by the Migos was playing. I'm going to tell you one time. So this episode, we really just got to know everybody. We find out that Paper Boi is an up-and-coming rapper, just getting played on the radio, just gaining popularity, just gaining respect. He is coming up. And this, I guess it would be how most rappers. Humble beginnings. He got a roommate. He stay in Atlanta. They sit outside and smoke weed. And like I said, this is my favorite series. So I have nothing bad to say about the episode. We do kind of find out that Ern is a little bit of a bum. He lives with his ex-girlfriend and daughter, and she pretty much takes care of the house. And he stays home and babysits their kid. So this episode, we found that Paper Boi is an up-and-coming rapper. You will hear me refer to him as Alfred, or Paper Boi, just whatever comes to my head at the moment as I'm speaking. We did find that Alfred's mom is dead because Alfred was a little bit upset that he hasn't heard anything from Ern. Ern has a baby. He went to Harvard and dropped out. He seems to be a bum since he dropped out of Harvard. He really wants to be Alfred's manager, but everybody thinks of him as a slacker right now. They know that he's smart, they know that he's brilliant, but he just doesn't put forth the effort. So everybody's a little bit standoffish. Darius is wild. Darius is my favorite character in the entire series because when he says crazy and wild shit, it actually makes sense. But please, come talk to me in the comments. Let's discuss Atlanta. We can never talk enough Atlanta. It's one of my favorite shows. Love the music. Love the energy. Love the storylines. Love the Atlanta of it all. I love it so much. When I watch, I try to figure out if I know where the landmarks are. Y'all come on, talk to me. Y'all have a wonderful day.